What if Elrond was on the Fellowship of the Ring? It's an interesting concept, especially considering he was right there at the Council of Elrond. It's the Council of Elrond. He was very powerful. Probably the most wise person in the entirety of Middle Earth at the time. He was a very powerful warrior. So today we're going to be going through that. And I mean, there's a lot of points where he would genuinely help. I mean, genuinely just being powerful, helping, fighting orcs, all sorts, and even after maybe the Fellowship split. We're going to go over that later. It's really incredible. I mean, him and Gandalf together were some of the most powerful beings in Middle Earth, and if they were on the Fellowship together, that would be extremely powerful. I mean, he literally beat multiple Nazgûl when the Fellowship, not the Fellowship, the White Council went to fight at what do you call it? What's Sauron's fortress in Mirkwood? I'm forgetting the name now for some reason, but yeah. And obviously, I think he might actually make a change. Maybe at Carafras, he might think, let's not go over it, or I don't know. Maybe he would change his mind, and it would probably be a pretty good mountaineer. But obviously, they would already have Aragorn and Gandalf and everyone. And in Moria, they might be a better navigator, having Elrond be a big help in that case. In Moria, so yeah, I think that would genuinely be a very big help. And I mean, at Mordor, helping to sneak into Mordor, if he ends up there. This is a what-if scenario, and you guys will see now if he is going to go to Mordor, but that would be very good if he could help sneak in. So let's get into it. Okay, firstly, we have to try and cover why would Elrond go with the council. Only reason he didn't is because he wanted to be like at Rivendell and protected. But I thought that was quite a weak defense, and I don't actually know why he wouldn't. This isn't why he didn't. This is why would he. And I think after some decision making, he would think, considering how important this mission is, he, one of the most like intelligent and wisest people in the entirety of Middle Earth, and one of the most prominent figures in the White Council, should go on this journey to help him. And he decides that he will go. And in the meantime, he leaves Glorfindel in charge of Rivendell. I'm sure Arwen and Elrond's two sons, which names I sometimes forget, would play a crucial role, but I think the main candidate will be Glorfindel, which is a very powerful elf. For those of you who don't know, I'm not going to go into detail about that. Speaking of Glorfindel, a friend of ours, on the Middle Earth Q&A channel are doing what if Glorfindel went on the Fellowship of the Ring. So that'll be down in the comments below. So if you want to go check that out, just check that out. And now our journey begins. So Elrond is going with the Fellowship of the Ring, and now we have two of the most powerful characters, and never even mind Gimli, Legolas, and Aragorn, which are some of the best fighters in all of Middle Earth. So I think relatively everything happens the same, but then of course the first attempt to get over the Misty Mountains, the Redhorn Path, Carafras. So basically this is where Saruman just kind of like yells at the mountain to start making a thing, and then Frodo says, yeah, I'd rather go to Moria than be on top of this mountain. But I actually think Elrond would much earlier, maybe about 30 days earlier, say, this isn't gonna work, we won't be able to make it, and I think it is better. He listens to Gimli and says, I think it is better if we go to Moria. They go to Khazad-dûm much earlier, and when they arrive there, I think Gimli, Elrond, and Gandalf together would be a very good combo to get through Moria. And I think this time we don't they won't run into orcs, and they won't go on the right tracks for Pippin to mess up, which of course means we won't get Fool of a Took. Yes, guys, it's a very sad day, but that does mean we don't get hunted down by orcs. Frodo doesn't get stabbed, you know. We also don't get Sam spanking an orc with his frying pan. That was also wonderful to see. So, yeah, everything in Moria happens pretty chill. As they say, 4 days it takes, and then they run into the Balrog. And in this case, I think, usually it's just Gandalf, but I think in this case, both Elrond and Gandalf say at the same time. And then, of course, we get the wonderful line that always gives me goosebumps.
Foes beyond any.
So yes, I do think Gandalf and Elrond would, in that split second, decide that Elrond would help Gandalf. He isn't that powerful, but it would kind of be like in the movies of The Hobbit, where Galadriel and Saruman fight. Saruman is in the background just helping. I do think in this case they will defeat the Balrog earlier, and I do still think we get the beautiful "You shall not pass" moment, and yeah, I think Gandalf survives, which you might think is some really great Gandalf. That means there's no Gandalf the White, a much more powerful version, so there might have some crazy implications later. I just remembered I have this little figure of Gandalf the White. You see, this guy be better than the Gandalf of the Grey. I don't have an Elrond one for some reason. Do I? No, I don't. Here's Arwen. You represent... Yeah. Okay, it's fine. I have the rest of this fellowship, but anyway, so that's good. Okay, they make it out of Moria relatively unscathed. I'm sure Elrond and Gandalf would be very tired, and orcs would probably be alerted of their presence by, Balrog. Okay, so basically then they will, of course, make their way to Lothlorien, mostly unscathed. I think everything more or less happened. And then, of course, Celeborn will seek to speak with Gandalf. But in this case, he can, and he will probably also want to speak to Elrond. And Celeborn asks a lot of questions about how this mission could be possible. Shouldn't they just rather keep the ring? And he's very skeptical of bringing a dwarf along in the fellowship. Like, come on, guys. Dwarves are useless. Obviously not. But that's probably what Celeborn would believe, and they assure him it would be fine. Okay, I think everything happens more or less the same until we get to Amon Hen, where, of course, usually Boromir will die. But, of course, Frodo goes walking off. Boromir goes, and Aragorn saves Frodo. Boromir will still, redeem himself. He'll still try and take the ring. He'll redeem himself by trying to defend Merry and Pippin. But this time when Boromir blows the horn, I'm sure they might make it. Elrond and Gandalf would literally just be chilling, sitting against a tree, just thinking, Boromir will sit here and find Frodo soon. Aragorn also just went to check whether, I'm sure they'll be fine. And they hear the horn of Gondor, and they say, something is wrong here. And I actually think they make it in time to help Boromir and save him. But Lurtz had already done the damage. It was a little too late. Lurtz had already shot an arrow into Boromir's heart. Now, immediately you might think it is over. But we have Elrond, one of the master healers. The Aragorn still managed to kill Lurtz afterwards. Well, with the help of Gandalf and Elrond now, so much easier. But Elrond does manage to heal Boromir, but he is not as fast anymore, and he is not as swift and so on. He wouldn't be able to be so much of a part of the company. And now the fellowship still splits. Gandalf takes Merry and Pippin to Fangorn to help rouse the Ents. Boromir goes back to Minas Tirith to help there, and Elrond goes with to try and alert Denethor and tell him about how Aragorn is super cool and he should be like the king and stuff. And now Gimli obviously goes, Gimli and Aragorn go with Frodo and Sam to Mordor, and Legolas says, he might need to also go to the elves area, but he thinks he's gonna stay, probably better to be with the ring bearer, but he just wants to be with Gimli, let's be honest. He just wants to have a chill with his brother, you know what I'm saying? And Aragorn says he might go to Gondor in the future, but for now, his faith is in the ring bearer. So that is where we're going to leave it. This is part 1, the Fellowship of the Ring. Next, we have the 2 Towers when we get at 15 likes. And if that video gets 20 likes, we'll do Return of the King, which will be super, super fun. Guys, please subscribe and like for more What If theories. It's really appreciating you guys watching till the end of quite a long video from my channel. Thank you guys for watching.